This is my roaring 20s. I don't even know me. About a year ago, I made an almost 40-minute video about my 2018 and what my life was like throughout that year. And at the request of one of my subscribers, this is going to be an update on everything that happened that year, how my 2019 went, and my plans for 2020. Hey guys, Dani here, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. A lot of what I try to do here on this channel is pull back the curtains on the music industry and the smiles and happy pictures of social media, because real life isn't what social media portrays to us. That being said, last year, 2018, when I mean last year, was a really hard year for me. I struggled so much. And as part of me trying to, recover from all of those struggles, I made a video detailing everything that had happened to me over that past year. It was a super hard year because that is the year that I got injured, which completely turned my entire life off of the course that I thought I was going to be on and where I thought I would be now, because I was just about to graduate, as well as the fact that one of my close friends had suddenly died at the age of 20. So as you can imagine, it was a super tough year. I felt like my life was crumbling. But if 2018 was my life crumbling, 2019 was me trying to find the pieces and begin to put them back together. Everyone knows that I am a huge fan of Taylor Swift, and I always thought that my 22nd birthday, which was at the beginning of 2019, would be a huge Taylor Swift themed party. Ever since, obviously, her song 22 came out. It was something that I always wanted to do. And at the beginning of 2018, I actually thought that was possible because for the first time in my life, I was able to get all of my friends from my different friend groups together to have an enjoyable birthday party without any drama, and it was wonderful. Little did I know at that time what the rest of the year would hold for me. And for 2019, my birthday was completely uneventful. I pretty much didn't have a birthday party, which is not very normal for me because I was just so down and so depressed. I could still barely walk. I was in a ton of pain, and there was just kind of no way that I could fake being happy. February was a really mixed bag of emotions for me, and I think that it's going to be like that for a long time to come. We celebrated my little brother's second birthday, and we celebrated my niece's first birthday. And then it came to the anniversary of my injury, which kind of sent me back into a downward spiral because my injury is supposed to have a 6 to 8 week healing time. I tore my MCL at my old job. And to be a year out at that time and still in so much pain, still completely unable to walk and pretty miserable is a sad reality to face. I was also pretty much getting close to a year that I had graduated from school, and I expected that a year out of university I would be working full-time, getting my life sorted, becoming more independent, and it kind of felt like I was more dependent than ever on my parents because of my injury. More than anything, I expected that at that time in my life, a year out of school, I would stop feeling like a broke college student. I would have my life put together. I would see the clear path. But instead, I was just miserable, pretty much always just lying around because there wasn't much that I could do, and just trying to figure out where I could go from there. Then closer to the end of that month was the first anniversary of my friend Grace's death. And that was also super hard, but it really had me thinking about the last conversation that we had had together. And it was basically about how we spend so much time doing what we're supposed to do and doing what like the designated right path is, and we end up spending so many years not enjoying ourselves because we're so focused on accomplishing these things that makes everyone else happy instead of doing what makes us happy or what we want to do. And that's kind of where I decided to pretty much start doing the things that I wanted to do as much as I can, even though I was injured. If you look back on my YouTube channel, you can see a clear kind of line where I started being much more consistent on YouTube and really working on my music, because those are things that I really want to do. Those are things that bring me joy. And even though there's not a day that goes by that I don't think of my friend, I think that the best way that I can kind of keep moving forward is to keep moving forward and finding those little moments of happiness, even though the world is kind of gray. In March, I graduated from a small program at U of T, which was geared to helping me start a business, which is something that I've been working on for a while. I've mentioned it here and there, and I'm still working on it. It's just that everything costs money, and money is something that I'm currently kind of struggling with because I can't do the things that my degree's in very much because of my injury, and mostly it's my injury that's preventing me from doing a lot of the stuff that I thought that I would be doing. But I'm still really working hard towards that. Oh, I almost forgot. I also had my very first interview ever with the Music Vault, as well as I got to meet Molly Burke, which was super awesome. I actually got to tell her a little bit about my business idea, and she really liked the idea. And I hope that once I do get things kind of solid, that I can reach out to her again and maybe we can do something in terms of that, because basically a lot of what my business is to help people and help people with all different types of abilities and stuff like that. So I guess we connected a little bit on that level because I know that's something that she's very passionate about as well. The end of March, early April was really awesome for me because I got to see Lennon Stella and Mariana's Trench in concert, which getting back into seeing more and more concerts and live music is something that feeds my soul is the best way I can describe it. And I like the fact that I've kind of gotten to the place where I can go to concerts by myself, which is something that I used to not be able to do. My anxiety would not allow me to do that, but I'm kind of working towards gaining the confidence and the ability to do certain things alone. The end of April, I would say, was the hardest point of my entire year, and that is because that is when I lost pretty much the rest of my friends. I obviously still have a few friends. Those are the real ones, honestly, but a lot of my friends from high school, those friendships ended, and that is because, and I've mentioned this here before, that I am in the process of getting a service dog, which this process is taking way longer than I expected to, but I am in the process of getting a service dog, and for whatever reason, those friends had a really big issue with me getting a service dog, even though this is something that I have discussed and made the decision with my mom as well as my doctors, and we think that's the best route to go. But for whatever reason, those friends did not agree with that or had some sort of issue with that, and ultimately they told me to go kill myself. And so I stopped being friends with those people because that is just never acceptable in any circumstance, no matter what. And it takes some really crappy type of people who call themselves your friends to actually tell someone to essentially go commit suicide, because not only is that going to hurt that person, because that's a permanent decision, especially a person that they know is going through a rough time. That's a really mean thing to say, but also that affects the people around them. And for any person, no matter how mad anyone is at anyone else, for them to tell someone else to do something so horrific is just disgusting to me. And I do not want to ever associate with people like that. So when that happened, that really put me in a dark place, because these were some of my best friends that I thought would be around for pretty much ever. And it kind of sucks that this has been like a pattern lately. I don't really know why, but I can never accept anyone saying anything like that. So obviously I'm no longer friends with those people. The summer was pretty good. I got a new logo and I went to the DIY musician conference, which was very helpful for me in terms of figuring out like specifically my path with music. And I also made some great connections with some great people. So that was really awesome. I know I made a bunch of videos about the conference, which I will link wherever the iCard goes, but I'm going to spare you all details of that if you want an in-depth about that portion. I made like a 20-minute video about everything that happened, everything I learned, so you can go watch that. But literally immediately after the OI Musician Conference, I was actually supposed to get my service dog, which didn't happen. The breeder basically canceled on me the day before, which was devastating because, I can understand for like a lot of people, it's like, oh, well, you didn't get a dog, whatever. It might be sad and disappointing, but devastating is kind of a very harsh word for that. But for me, it's not a pet. A service dog is medical equipment and is supposed to be able to give me my independence back, and it's supposed to essentially change my life and keep me safe. So to be so excited about taking that next step with my health and, getting myself to a place where I can be independent, and for that to be yanked out from under me all of a sudden with pretty much no explanation is going to be devastating to anyone. But it was particularly devastating to me, especially because everything had been so up in the air. Like, they were very vague on details, and it was stressing me out so much that it kind of put a damper on my trip, kind of, as well as the fact that because they absolutely confirmed when I was in Texas, and I only had a few days to prepare with all of the stuff that I would have needed, and we went and bought a whole bunch of stuff and got it, shipped back to Canada with us, and all of that only to just be like, actually, never mind, and, kind of waste my money. And yes, a lot of that stuff I can use whenever I get my new dog, but still, it did waste a lot of my money. That money could have quite honestly been sitting in my bank account gaining interest instead of just being products that I can't use right now. So that was a really big thing that happened then. September through kind of nowish has been pretty uneventful. I've just been working hard to, like I said, find the pieces and put them back together. I have noticed that my anxiety has been slowly creeping up to what I would call dangerous levels, so I'm working very hard to try and keep them at bay, and also working very hard to get another service dog prospect to start working on a lot of those issues. We did recently get to 300 subscribers, and I do want to take a moment to really thank all of you for that. It means a lot to me that there are people out there who care about what I have to say and my perspective on the world, and I do want to take a moment to really express to you guys how much that means to me. It gives me a reason to keep doing what I'm doing, and gives me something to do during like this whole injury thing and trying to get myself back together. So honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I really, really do appreciate all of your support. But yeah, as you can see, this past year is better, way better than 2018, but still kind of not where I thought I'd be, not where I wanted to be, but I am kind of finding that new normal and having new goals and aspirations, and kind of having to change my life from where I thought it would be, mainly because of this injury. I am still in a lot of pain, but I've kind of learned how to find different ways around my injury, and I got a new brace which has been helping and stuff like that, so I'm able to do a lot more than I could have even a year ago, which I am very grateful for. But I am also super eager to be healed and to not be in pain, because it affects pretty much every aspect of my life. So 2020, I have somehow been alive for 4 different decades, even though I'm only 22. Yeah, try and figure that one out. If you think about it, it makes sense, but when you say it out loud, it makes 0 sense. I want to start making 2 videos a week. And I know I'm going to fail at this. And I'm saying that now because I'm trying to not put the pressure on myself to accomplish 2 videos a week and have a panic attack if I don't. So I'm saying that I will fail at this at some point, but I am going to try and do 2 videos a week to challenge myself. And there's a couple of reasons which I'm going to get into right now. One of those reasons is that I do want to change up my content a little bit. When I first started my YouTube channel, I was in the middle of school. I was getting my film degree, and I wasn't learning what I thought that I should be learning, as well as, I got kicked out of the music program because of my learning disabilities. So YouTube was kind of that way of staying connected to music, as well as to practically do the skills that I was supposed to be learning in my film class, but apparently was not going to learn. So I took it upon myself to find a way to keep challenging myself to make content. And because I was in school and working and getting all these degrees and whatever, I didn't have a lot of time to film. So it was challenging enough finding a way to film and finding time to film, which is where a lot of these talking head videos have come in. But in the last year, I feel like I've gotten to the point where these videos are easy for me. Easy in the sense that my lights are always in the same place, and it's just me talking to the camera, and I feel very comfortable doing that. And the editing process is pretty straightforward. And that's not a bad thing. I love the content that I make, but I also want to make more and different types of content in order to continue to challenge myself so that I can grow and learn more. So one of the things that I would like to start to try and work on is my business plan. And like I said, I'm in the process of making this business, and you have to make a business plan. But I've been struggling so hard to write this business plan because of my learning disabilities. And about a month or so ago, it kind of dawned on me that I should stop trying to push myself to write this business plan in a way that's never going to work. In the same way that I discovered my love for film and music as a way to express myself, because I have my learning disabilities and it's very hard for me to write things, I should kind of take my business in that same approach. So instead of writing a business plan, which is probably going to take me another 3 years, I kind of want to make a video business plan. I don't know if that's ever been done before. I don't entirely know how that's going to work, but that is something that I do want to try and do. I want to explore the current state of the creative community around me, and I want to hear from other people in other fields about, what they like about the community, what they think that they can improve, instead of just taking all of just my ideas and my experiences and putting that into my business. I kind of want to broaden that. So that is some of the content that I do want to start adding to this channel. The other type of content I really want to make at some point is service dog content. That would be whenever I get my service dog. But I did notice a really big gap in high quality service dog content, specifically in like the Canadians, Ontario portion of it. Everything is very US centric. So yes, there are a lot of high quality service dog channels. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that there are not really any or a lot that I can find that make high quality videos for my specific area. So that is something that I want to do, as well as I've kind of realized that music for me, and I'm never going to stop making music content, but music for me is kind of like my diary, whereas video making and videography is the way that I have conversations with other people and to the world. So that is the reason why I want to start kind of, making these different types of content, which is again why I'm trying to get to 2 videos a week, every single week, so that you'll still have one video that is music related and the content that I'm still making, but like with a little bit of a spice and a twist to it. I kind of want to get out more in the world and change up the way that I make these videos, as well as also have one video a week-ish that has to do with other things that I love and that I'm passionate about, and that I want to share conversation with, especially because I don't have that many friends anymore, as I've mentioned. So the way that I'm doing these videos is kind of me, the conversations that I have every week at this point, even though it's kind of to a camera, which might be a little bit weird, but that's what we're going with. So, concrete goals for 2020. And I wrote these down, so I'm going to read them to you. So, I want to make a film and submit it to Bufferfest. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while, and I keep letting it pass me by, or life just kind of gets in the way. But 100% for 2020, I would like to make a film. I already know what I want to make the film about, but I'll let you know about that a little bit later. And I want to submit it to Bufferfest and hopefully get into Bufferfest. That would be awesome. I want to release to the public at least one original song, because it's about time. I keep being a perfectionist when it comes to my music, and I keep being too scared to put it out. So that is something that I want to do by the end of the year. And the reason why I'm telling you all of these goals is because I want you guys to keep me accountable. And if I don't do these things, call me out on not doing these things, so I actually do these things. The next one is to make the visual/video business plan, as I already described. I want to reach 1,000 subscribers, because I've seen the momentum, and I think that if I do 2 videos a week and I work really hard, I think that's something that I can accomplish, hopefully. I also want to organize my life to fit my needs. So for me, that means, redoing my room to be more effective to, my filming and what I need to do. That means just getting all of the little pieces together. So the service dog, my health, finding a new doctor, all of those things that I need to do. I want to organize all of that. I want to feel like my life is under control by the end of the year. I also want to be able to do a cartwheel again and be able to run after my niece by the end of 2020. Like I said, my injury was supposed to be a 6 to 8 week injury, but because I wasn't able to access the care that I needed, we're on 2 years next month of me being injured and I still can't really walk. I got injured the day after my niece was born, and I've never been able to really run after her and play with her in the way that I want to, as well as the fact that I used to be a gymnast and a cheerleader, and those are some of the things that would help me keep my anxiety down, and those are the things that I feel like I really need to get back to once I'm obviously healed, in order to start having the mental space and the mental clarity to keep moving forward. To sum all that up, I want to get my health figured out. That's one of my biggest goals of 2020. I really, really want to get my health figured out, and figure out what needs to be done to get me better and get better so that I can start living. So yeah, those are kind of all of my thoughts and my ramblings. I guess this might become a yearly occurrence, like a yearly kind of diary thing, and hopefully one day I'll be able to look back on this stuff and be like, oh, why was I feeling like this? My life is so much better now. That would be awesome. But let me know what your goals are for 2020. If you put them down in the comment section below, maybe we can all keep each other accountable and start accomplishing the things that we really want to accomplish. And like I said before, I really do appreciate all of you guys being here, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to support me, and I hope that we have an awesome year, and I will see you guys again next week for 2 videos, hopefully. Don't know when yet, haven't figured out a schedule, so if you have preferable days that you want me to post and preferable times, either leave them in the comments or message me on some sort of social media. But other than that, I will see you guys next week. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and click that subscribe button to get all of my content twice a week now. I will see you guys again next week. Bye.